think?
We're on the wrong side.
On the wrong side. There we are. So, hello Sarah, how are you? Nice of you to join us. Normally Marion would be sitting over there, but I'm actually at Marion's. Yay! So we thought we'd do a one-sided mirror sort of thing going on here. Hang on a minute, let's just see if we can do something different. This is exciting. Hey, there we go. That's a bit better. Oh, there we go. We're in. We're sorted. The love of technology. So good evening, good afternoon,
Good night.
good night, good morning, good everything. Here you are joining. I feel like I'm laying down. Hang on a minute. Not you, sister, just ourselves here. So you are joining a why today, which comes from one of the women in. Now we can just say alphabet, just so you know. Yeah. So.
Can you see anything? I'm just checking to see what you were doing.
So now you have joined us for a wise question of the day with.
Yay! I'm here!
It's real. I can touch my nail. Dr. Cheryl Chapman. So Dr. Cheryl Chapman, we're on the wrong side now. Look, Dr. Cheryl Chapman, Marion Bevington. And the question for today is, now remember these questions come from members of the FindYourWHY Foundation, the FindYourWHY women who are in the Living Laugh Lounge, and of the question from the men in the Man Cave. So today's question is, why do I do everything myself?
We don't know the answer to that one. We'll do it together.
No, definitely not everything together. But then it does mean that we do have people who do things, of course. Yes, anyway. Hello, Elena.
I haven't got the glasses.
Elena, I reckon that you know Elena, because she's Elena Jelena Argero. But she hasn't got her glasses on, so if you know Marion, give me a thumbs up or a heart. So she knows us. Yes, we'll look at the hearts and the thumbs up so we know the job there. Just a little bit, yeah. Because she's not got her glasses on, she doesn't know who is there. So, yeah, so the question is, why do I do everything myself? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, often I think we get programmed. So when you're at school, stop talking. Don't you look at somebody's paper. Don't copy. There's loads of instructions that we get given at school. So that's one of the things that we've been taught, that we have to figure it out on our own. But if we didn't have to figure it out on our own, why would you go to school? Because isn't that where to send you to somebody to tell you how to figure it out? Doesn't make sense, does it? But I think we're really programmed that we don't. It's like we're programmed into feeling that we're more separate than we really are. It's just going a bit spiritual very quickly. Yes, this idea of inspiration that isn't real. It's only in this illusion of the manifest world.
I thought now we're going deeper.
So
this is about being separate but still connected at the same time.
Yeah.
So for example, have you ever had a time when you've been thinking about somebody, you might not have seen them for ages, and all of a sudden out of the blue, they send you a little Facebook message, as it would be in the day, or back in the day it might be, a phone call. I remember once I was driving past this phone box. I'm going back 1990s, something like that. I was driving past this phone box and I just had this urge to stop and go and stand in the phone box. And seriously, hand on hand, the phone rang about 2 seconds after I walked through the door of the phone box. And it was this guy that I'd been seeing, and he was in somewhere like Worcester and I was in York. And he was like, hello. And I was like, hello? No mobile phones then, of course. And he was like, I don't know why, but I'm just phoning this phone box. And I went, is that you? Whatever his name was. Wayne. Is that you? And he was like, yeah, is that you, Charles? I went, what? Whose number is this one? It's the phone box down the road from where you live. And he went, no, but I'm not. We know when those. Yeah, exactly. So we think about it. So there's this concept that we're all connected, so we're all of the same, I was going to say seed, energy really, I suppose. Source energy.
You're up in the same source.
HB.
This is in my house, she's thinking. That's what I'm saying. All around it.
Normally I'm at home going,
Can I just see this?
Sorry, So yeah, so the question is, why do I do everything myself? So maybe it's because, as Matt says, you know, you go to school, and I thought about that before. You said that actually, a good thing. You know, sit on your own. Don't. It's interesting, isn't it? Because you know, as you go through life, you know, when you get to our young age, it's really good to talk to people, particularly people who are like successful in whatever you want to do, or be inspired by somebody that's really inspirational. Isn't that copying?
Well, also it's really useful when you're doing like therapy work or change work with people. But if you don't know how to deal with the problem better yourself, look at somebody who does know how to deal with it well, and then you can emulate, you can copy what they do, so that you then develop skills and resources that will help you if you come across a similar situation in the future. So yeah, copying people is absolutely brilliant, because actually there's a whole kind of copycat mentality with what are those? Got the curves.
Kardashian, yeah. Is that all right? Yeah. I don't know.
So people copy them. You know what I mean? People copy them, or they have these very what's the word? Very limited ideas on how you're supposed to be. It's very structured and very, you know, like implants. Yeah, just all weird stuff that they would do. And to me, again, that's taking you away from who you are naturally. It's taking you into this conceived being that you think you should be. So I think there's a lot of should in that. And that's what kind of thing I then was thinking, actually, that is all about copying the people that just told not to do in school. So maybe there's a bit of us that's a rebel and just wants to copy people just to be a rebel.
If anyone's seen Marion's answer to describe yourself in 3 words, and Marion's answer is, I am a rebel. There you go. There are some times, of course, when you don't want to copy people, and I think that's because there's an element of competition that comes in. So I think this is why you do it on your own. I know, look, you know, my childhood was slightly different, so I was on my own. You know, not all the time, you know, only for a few minutes when I was 5, but every night I was on my own. So I kind of got used to doing things on my own. I had nobody else to copy from. You know, I was really quiet when I was at school, quiet, I mean, even up to being, you know, 15, 16. I don't know. Maybe when I started having around with a girl called Marianne Carling. Hello, Marianne, if you're watching this. And she was a lot more confident than me, so she was a bit more vocal. And I think up until then I'd been really, really quiet, because I kind of think I don't really think I needed to really ask for anything. If I wanted it, I just got it, kind of thing. And it wasn't until my sister came along that I realised the power of like speaking and asking. But I mean, by the time she was born, I was like 16, so we were asking for different things at that stage. So, you know, I think that I kind of got into this place of like I did most of the things on my own anyway. Played on my own, didn't really, you know, entertain myself, you know, watch telly, did what I wanted to do really. So, and there's that other side as well. So school is keeping me separate, you know, telling me to almost be competitive and not copy and, you know, try and beat the next person. Because that's what not copying is all about, isn't it? Like try to beat the other person, I guess. And then I was just on my own anyway. So I think if you've been in a family where it's in competition, i.e. family, 4 brothers, or maybe if you've been on your own naturally, as in, you know, an only child, that's interesting, isn't it? But yeah, it feels like it's something to do with competition. So if you win, you get all the glory. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a great badge lover. You know, when I was in the Brownies, I liked the badges.
My favourite story.
Like the badges. And because that was kind of recognition, because my desire, of course, is to be recognised, which I didn't know when I was 8 or 9 years old when I was in the Brownies. And so I saw this opportunity. They left the box out with all the badges in it. I thought, that's a good idea. So I took some of those badges. It didn't say don't take the badges. So 8 or 9, I presume, I just thought it was all right. And then my mum sewed them on the uniform. Very, very action-taking mother, because she's a generator, loads of energy. So she put all these badges on my sleeve. And I went back the week or the fortnight later, and I got kicked out of the Brownies.
for robbing badges.
For robbing badges.
And then wearing them, blatantly displaying them. I love that story. Good old Glenys.
Yeah, thanks, Mum. And I think that she's now, Mum will be watching this now saying, oh, she's getting wrong. Of course, there's always an after story, but but that was that's what these badges sitting all our life. And then that went on to, like when I worked for Anne Summers, I like the badges. When I worked for Kirby, I like the badges. It's just something I like. But of course, you have to be competitive in that arena because you can't win. Everybody can't win the prize. So I used to win all the prizes. So I think that's why I felt like I had to do everything on my own because we were in competition with other people. Yeah. Let's say hello to I hope I've said your name right. Welcome. So yes, let's just have a reminder. So we're saying, why do I do everything myself? Now, if you've missed the beginning of this, we've gone from universal energy and the source to, where did we go after that? Kardashian's bumming plants. And then badges. So the question is, why do... Eclectic, well done. Yes, random, all over the place. But it is, these questions really take you to different places, don't they? So why do I do everything myself? Well, here's a question that came up this week, actually. Which is, do you think no one can do things as well as you? That's why you do it.
Do you think no one can do things as well as you? It's not very good English, that really, but I'm just trying to work out what does it actually mean. So absolutely. So it was things, stupid things like there's a clock on the settee here. When I put it on, the living room is a complete tip. But it takes me a while to get it right. And if somebody else does it, I notice straight away. Daft things like these yellow circles are out of line, or really, I've probably got a bit of OCD going on. I call it psycho, it's friendly, isn't it? But yeah, there are certain things that nobody could do it the way I do it. And I don't believe that's because I do it. It's because I do it with extreme OCD. Nobody else has got the same flavour as OCD, isn't he? I remember being in the kitchen last year with the fan in the window. And I noticed something a little bit in like a cobweb inside. Well, 3 hours later, there I am taking it apart. I've got a toothbrush, I've got a pair of tweezers. 3 hours spent on it. I haven't washed a dish for days. I spent 3 hours cleaning the fan in the kitchen. Unusual.
I want to say good evening to Judy. Now, Judy's saying that it's lovely to see us, but the sound projection is not there. It sounds as if you're in the water.
Oh.
So I'm just wondering if it's because we're sat in the same room. It might that. Marion's just going to do IT bit. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Because there's something, I bet you've got something that when somebody else tries to do it, you're just like, that's a bit itchy and scratchy, or whatever, you might start doing a bit of a twitch on something, and you then go back and do it again. The reason why that came up was because last week I was working with a number of entrepreneurs, and one of the questions that one of the guys said was, raise your hand if you believe that only you can do something the proper way. And everybody's hand just went up in the room, and I was like, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? So that might be why you don't delegate.
Do you want to, Judy, can you just give us a little thumbs up if the sound has changed for you, sweetheart, please?
Thumbs up, let's see if it's changed. Yeah, okay, so hopefully that's changed. I'm sure she'll tell us in a moment if it isn't. So this was really interesting that everybody in the room had felt at least once, that there was something that they did better than somebody else. And so maybe that's why you think that, nobody else can do things as best as you. So, of course, that means that you're answering that question, why do I do everything myself? So how can you get over this situation? Of course, we've got this conditioning, we've been to school, we've been told to be separate, maybe you've been on your own, maybe there's been this competitive streak, as you've been growing up, depending on how you were brought up, either in a family with lots of kids or if you've been in a competitive world. So what is the benefit of doing everything yourself? Well, of course, if you've got a standard, you're going to be able to reach that. Yeah. Or are you? Because if you're doing everything yourself, slight exaggeration there, it's like generalization. But if you're doing everything yourself, then you're not going to have the time. So now it's echoing back. Okay, so let's just see if you actually drop off of this recording. We'll see. Just if you lose us for a minute, let's just have to see if it makes a difference. Let's have a quick see. Might end the broadcast. No, we're still here, I think. So hopefully that'll be better. Hopefully that should be better now. We're back here. Hello. So let's just go back. So in terms of like, if you do everything yourself because you think that only you can do it better, you know, the best way, whatever it is, then is that really true? Because if you're so tired doing everything, then I'm sure you'd agree with me. You're probably going to start making a few mistakes.
Yes,
yeah?
And also it's very selfish because if you can do something really well and you want other people to do things, to be able to do things really well, then you need to give them the opportunity to learn. And while you keep saying, oh, you haven't done it right, you haven't done it right, you haven't done it right, people aren't actually learning what to do. Because this is really important, isn't it? When you give kids instructions, to be very clear on what you want them to do. Because I've been working with little kids recently, and I'm quite surprised at how often, not only the kids that I'm with, and I've been doing it as well, that we say, don't do that, stop it. And the kid doesn't even know what it is. You know, because they're playing or they're curious and they're investigating life. So, you know, one of them thought that playing with the inside of the bin liner was good fun because it was making a funny noise and stuff was moving around inside the bin and she couldn't quite work out what, and it was really interesting for her. And 3 times she got told stop it, but she didn't know what she was doing because she was having fun playing in the bin. So we had to say to her, outside and play, see if you can find something outside that makes the same noise. That's what I thought. Well, look, rather than tell her she's doing something wrong, because she's not doing anything wrong, actually, she was investigating the world. So I thought, oh, that's a really good bit of it. And it took me a few minutes to work out, how do I speak to this child now that is going to be helpful to her, and it's not going to stop her, it's not going to put any blocks in the way. And it is really shocking to me how difficult I find it, even when I'm being really conscious, to speak really positively and give people, and children especially, really clear instructions on what to do. And this is what we talk about this all the time, don't we? Not being clear on exactly what it is you want and precisely what it is you want is why most people have got issues. It's why most people don't have a life that they love. It's because they don't even know what they want. Yeah.
So why else might you do everything yourself? So you're thinking that you can, there's only you can do it better than yourself. It might be that you don't think there's anybody else out there who can help you, not because you think you can do it, you know, better than anybody, but the fact that you don't feel that you've got anybody to ask. And this is a huge thing, isn't it? I mean, the amount of times that people don't ask, look, here's the golden rule. If you don't ask, you don't get. And sometimes if you ask, you don't get. But I would imagine it's at least 50-50.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you ask somebody if they want to do something for you, I mean, again, you know, kids, they love doing things for you. Now, I know that they can't come into your business and start, you know, setting up your social media or whatever that might be. But you have got other people that do these things because they love doing it. Look, I have a cleaner. I hate cleaning. So why would I clean for a start off? Because I don't like doing it. Why waste your life doing things you don't like doing? And then the second thing is, you know, to be fair, which is incredibly cheap, you know, as in hourly rate compared to what I can, you know, provide myself as an income for my hourly rate, because we've got different skills, but she loves doing it. And, you know, she's happy with the money that I give. I'm sure if I give her twice as much, she'd be happy. She'd be happy as well. But can you see, like, what you do? What are the jobs that you can do that only you can do? That's a tip for you. You know, look at the jobs that you're doing. What can be delegated? What can never be delegated because maybe it's your creation that you can't, that nobody else can do.
A writer or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you know, what can you delegate to other people? How much would that delegation cost? And if that is less than what you bring in as a revenue yourself, what the fuck are you doing?
Throwing money away, aren't you?
Yeah, you're losing money because if I spend 2 hours cleaning my house, I mean, honestly, I'm losing a lot of money because I know that I can bring in more money rather than actually spending that on a cleaner. Does that make sense? Yeah.
And also, there's if you because most of our community, most of the wise men and wise women are business owners or self-employed or solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and if you're a business owner, especially because we start off on our own. If you start off in business on your own and you try and do everything, you're not going to get very far.
Nope.
Full stop. So you need to have very, very limited expectations of yourself because there is not enough time to do it all. You get hit with all kinds, especially like recently with all this GDPR, whatever it was called.
All that regulation.
All that stuff. There's people have trained specifically in that area so that they can do it. Rather than you potentially make mistakes, take a lot longer to do it, and then it's going to cost you something because legally you haven't actually covered your arse, then it's much better to pay somebody who actually knows what they're doing. I think the difficulty can be finding people who are skilled, who actually do what they say they can do, because there's a lot of charlatans out there, or a lot of people give you promises, false hope of targets or so it can be difficult. But I think that's something, again, in the community that we're in, we're blessed because we've got access to a lot of people, and we know the ones who do the do. We talked about it yesterday, the ones who walk their talk. We know who they are. We know who you are.
Yes. We know who you are.
No, you are.
What are you pointing at? They're nice people. We know who you are.
They're individuals.
Yes.
So when it comes to doing jobs that other people are qualified to do, if you are running a business, then, and life is a business, I suppose, isn't it? Then you really do need to enlist help. Otherwise, you are so restricted and so limiting yourself to what you can actually do.
So it'd be interesting if you're watching this as a recording, if you're still with us alive. I was going to say that if you're still alive, just give us some ideas of the types of jobs that you do that you don't like, that you could delegate. And then the question is, why don't I delegate? Well, of course, it might be I don't have enough income to be able to delegate. I've got to pay somebody else to do that, and I really don't like it. So, okay, you might have to do it first of all, on your own. But then if you've got the skills to be able to do something that you don't like doing, then the best way there is maybe to bring somebody in that you can teach. So obviously their initial outgoing, their initial the expense on their value, if you like, is not as high as it would be once they're qualified. So that's one way. So it'd be really great to hear, either if you're listening on recording or live now, what areas of your life are you not delegating that you could? And so as we leave you now, a few tips. Work on your past, as in childhood traumas of sitting there being told not to copy.
Yes.
Realise you're all connected.
We're all connected. You're not then.
I am with you.
You just said you're all connected.
You're all connected. We're all connected. There you go. Sometimes you just need somebody to tell you. There's somebody else the other day that was doing something about that. I said, it's not about, I said, remember, no, actually it was a bit of feedback. She knows who she is, so she won't mind, but I won't say who it is. And so she said, yes, and so what you need to do is make sure that when you're talking to people, it is about them and not about you. Because you see, what I find is, that was just another example of that. Yeah, sorry, we're all connected, not you. I'm not in this. No,
really.
We're all connected. That's why we get those moments of like, woo. So we're all connected. You don't need to be in it for the competition. And of course, if you're not in it for the competition, then of course you know that you don't have to do everything yourself. And also, just I would just say, look at the jobs that you're doing at the moment, whether that be, jobs in life, jobs in a career. And what do you like doing? What do you not like doing? What do you not mind doing? And if there's things in the list that's like, I don't like doing it, then something's got to change, really, isn't it?
Yes.
And that's where you will need to now not do it on your own, but in fact, you need to find out exactly what that is and what changes can be made, through a supportive, creative network of people. So we know one of those, don't we?
We do.
It's called the Live, Love, Laugh Lounge and the Man Cave, and they both come under the FindYourWHY Foundation. So if you've got anything that you want us to help you with, please pop in the chat box. We don't necessarily know all the answers, of course. We've got over 100 years between us, but we'll have an opinion on it, that's for sure. And if we don't know the answer, we'll probably know someone who does.
Yes.
So on this lovely shady evening from Panama, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm in one of them movies where, the faint whiff, and someone's going to start tangoing in the corridor in a minute. So good evening from us. Remember to live, love and laugh every day. And you don't have to work it out on your own.
And you don't have to do it alone.
You don't have to do it alone. So good night from me and good night from
her.
him. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.
Bye.